Well, welcome to the DKS group. This is a follow-on, the longer video about communication that we've just posted on the social media platforms. So anyway, let's jump straight in. I'm Andy Deeks of the DKS group. Some of you will notice probably about 30-40 videos. You remember this backdrop, this lane, and I was all dressed in my tweeds. Obviously not that season, it's a corporate day today, so hence we're out in normal clothing. But it was a conversation I've just had recently with the owners of this beautiful location. I put a video up recently that touched various raw nerves with managers and deputies and communication, and the leaders control the environment and they create the environment, and that you work for your staff and the staff work for the customers and the customers work for the business. And a good friend, I don't work for this firm, a good friend rang me up and said, "And that's so true. Your videos are hitting such a nerve. Absolutely amazing." He said, "I need to tell you a story. You've known me 10, 15 years. He said, "No, I've got to tell you a story." He said, "My business doesn't have that problem anymore." And I went, "No, I love your business. Your business is amazing. I'm always promoting it. I'm always talking about good things. I love coming out from my country days out. I love the staff. They're amazing." And he went, yeah. He said, "I've empowered them." He said, "Because of what happened way back, sort of over 25, probably about 25 years ago." He said, "And I want to tell you it so that you can tell others." He said, "Because it might just add to your videos." So I was like, "Whoa, I'm all ears." He said, "Communication is key. Communication is critical." He said, "But communication is two-way. The way you treat your staff, the way you empower your staff." He said, "I, for many years, had a manager." He said, "And at the end of the day, that manager was a filter. What went up and down, they filtered it, they dealt with it, niggly stuff." He said, "But then what happened was, over a course of time, the filter was getting blocked. The filter was inoperative. It wasn't working to its best performance." He said, "Much like any machine that has a filter," he said, "I don't want to replace the filter, I want to clean the filter." So I said, "Yeah, I get that." He said, "But the filter became blocked. The filter became ineffective on what it was doing." He said, "We then had a blockage. And he said, we exploded." He said, "But you never explode at the filter, you explode either end." He said, "Take the scenario of a washing machine, a dishwasher, even a car. You block the filter, engine works, but it doesn't work efficiently." And he said, "Then we had this explosion." And I was like, "Oh, blimey, I didn't know you then." And he went, No. He said, "But what I've learned is, and why I love your videos, is that you have to empower staff, you have to empower them, you have to educate them, you have to give them a bit of communication, you have to give them a bit of free rein." Now, the staff down here I absolutely love, I think they're amazing, but they act as deputies. Who's ever in takes control, takes charge, they all make decisions, they all support each other, they work as a team. Now, teamwork's something that the DKS group is massively about, and I'm going to use a sporting analogy. Doesn't matter which sport you look at, and we'll take football because a lot of you understand the football. So the game's going on and their captain, their kind of is inspiring, their deputy is out on the pitch inspiring them, and they've got this lovely formation, and they've got a problem. They fall back a goal, so they're 1-0 down. They then have a substitution. They're going to come in and help somebody. Somebody starts later on in the game and in the gameplay, but they're going to come back with a set of instructions from the boss. The filters come down. And they're able to adapt, they're able to change in the middle of the game for that to work. So that's about communication, that's about trust, that's about empowerment. So there's a message coming down the system through the filter, and the filter goes out and does its job and everything else, and they change their routine, and it works. Football, easy. They might be able to get, draw, or they might be able to go, 1-1 or 2-1 up. Then you look at F1. The man is out there driving the car. There's a whole team of engineers sat in the garage, there's a whole team of people, and there's the man, the orchestrator, on pit lane making the decisions. No, he's not. It's coming down through the background, car's not working properly. Driver says something, the filter comes through, driver says such and such is wrong with the car. The engineers are on it, he turns off a pit lane, he goes, "What are we doing, boys?" Yeah. The message comes back, the message gets furried down, and the filters work both ways, and they win and they support as a team. Light bulb moment there. Educating your team that the filters need to be cleaned regularly. The filters need to be operative, and it should be a two-way system. You know, there'd be times if you empower the people on the pitch, they don't scream and shout at Sir Alex Ferguson. The driver doesn't get on the radio screaming and shouting at Tonto Wolff or Frank Williams or Eddie Jordan back in the day. They're there going, guys, I've got a problem, can you help us? And the team get together and the team make the performance. They're not screaming from the pitch, I need to get this done. They're getting on with their job, and you're empowering them, you're supporting them. So that's why I think it's pretty critical that we understand communication, not just in how you talk to your staff, understanding and learning about your staff, but this filter system. And like I said, I hadn't realised this company, as amazing as it is, had that little problem back in the past. And it's something they learnt from. And he said, and I've been following you, I've known you, 10 plus years. He said, I know what you do. And he said, it's resonated with me. It sounds good, it looks good. I love what you do about empowering others, looking at their businesses with a fresh set of eyes. He said, but let me just tell you about this filter problem. Now I look at it and I talk about the communication, I talk about the culture, I talk about nurturing staff, educating them, supporting them. It's phenomenal. You want your business to grow, you want your staff to work. Now you're going to say to me, and this is uncertain times. No. The only thing that is certain now is if you encourage your team and you encourage your staff, they will work. And they will work for you, and they want to work for you. There's a difference between wanting to work for somebody, having to work for somebody, completely different. Some people have to work. You know, they need the money and it's desperate and it's ease. They've got into that rut and they just do the same thing day after day. If that's who they are, then put them to one side and, you know. But if you've got people in your team and you've got people in your staff that are wanting to employ, wanting to grow, wanting you to develop, speak highly of you, they're the people to get behind and motivate. They're the people to get behind and empower, take over that role, help them clear the filter. At the end of the day, that filter might be old. It might have been doing the same job for, I don't know, 20, 30, 40 years. It might just be rusty. It might have a problem. Move it to one side. Keep it in the business because it's got a value. But think about how you're developing. Think about how you're going. Think about the communication. It's key and it's critical to the growth of your business. The more you learn, the more you understand. So let's go back to the last video where we spoke about the client having the barbecue. He learned so much. And as he says, I'm now telling him your filter was blocked. Something I've learned, your filter was blocked. That communication flow was not there. The minute you had a barbecue, you bypassed the filter. You were able to learn more about your staff. You were able to learn more about working practices, rules, regulations. You were finding about new products that are coming in. You were finding about new reps. You were finding out a bit of a snapshot on your business. Your business that you spend a lot of money on. You know, keeps you in a lifestyle you're accustomed to. So it's pretty much critical that this communication flow is there. And I love the analogy of the filter. But I'm about to go down here for a lovely corporate afternoon. It is phenomenal, to be fair. It's lovely to be out in the country. It's lovely to be out and still enjoying the sports I do, doing what I do, and encouraging businesses. You know, this one I've been invited to. I've got another one in a couple of weeks that I'm taking clients and friends and colleagues to. Because the communication's there, you know, the phone doesn't stop ringing. People are going, can you do this? Can you help with this? It's about this empowerment. And I want you just to use this analogy because, like my good friend down here gave me that analogy, that the filter's blocked and the filter is the managers. I prefer them deputies, you know I do. So just take a look at your business and take a look at the filters. Take a look at the people that you are passing the information down. Is it getting down to the shop floor? Are you empowering the shop floor? Are you empowering? Are you listening? Are you learning? If you've educated your staff, they'll only need to come to you when they've got a bit of they need to. But if they come to this filter and you're all of a sudden not learning and not knowing and not understanding, you've got your blinkers on and go, oh yes, I've got my filter and it works and it's been working for 20 years. Okay, have you ever checked it? Have you ever gone bypassed it and gone, well, hang on a minute, what's the flow like without this filter? What's this like? What's that like? Hang on a minute, we need a bit of a refurb. We need somebody else to step in here for a week or 2 weeks and see whether it works any better. Let's understand whether this is critical to the development of the business. So it's something that I've learned and it's something I want you to take away. And as I said, I'm always learning. Every day's a school day. But let's understand managers. Let's understand what they should be doing for your business. Let's understand what they are doing for their business. And let's understand this communication is critical. The flow is critical. It works in sport. And this is where we come from. You know, DKS is a pedigree for motorsport, for rugby, for cricket, for football, you know, for equine. Everything is about a communication, the team, the machine, everything. You work together, you work with a positive, and the flow's there. You get to talk and it comes up and down. And the best teams get better, and the best teams develop, and the communication is there. Everybody talks to each other, everybody empowers each other. There's no blockages in the filters, there's no blockages in the system, because they're constantly looking at them, evaluating and evolving. And this is how your business should be. If you want to evolve and you want to grow and you want to develop, have a look at the filter systems. Anyway, so top tip, I'm going to head down here and enjoy my afternoon. So the next video we'll talk a little bit more. So thank you ever so much. Stay safe and enjoy your afternoon.